If you have ever visited a densely populated city and visited the downtown regions of the area, you are probably well aware that the available technology in the area is severely lacking. Many of our crosswalk systems, sprinkler systems, and city maintenance programs have been poorly maintained, and many of them were installed or implemented back in the 1970s or 80s. Over the years, much progress has been made to implement new technology into our streets and cities, but most cities in western parts of the world have seen very little improvement recently. Today we will look at a few genius inventions that need to be implemented in every city. Number 1. The Flatpack Refugee Shelter. Becoming a refugee is certainly not on anyone's bucket list, but for many people across the world, it is a simple fact of life. Countries all across the globe are stricken with war, famine, disease, and many other life-threatening conditions that limit the citizens' ability to leave their home, much less thrive in their community. Because of this, thousands of people escaped their homelands and traveled to nearby countries in search of a better life. In recent years, this has become increasingly common in certain parts of Europe and the United States. The IKEA Foundation worked alongside the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to help develop a solution for the increasing number of refugees across the globe. Rather than ban these individuals from entering the country or scamming them out of thousands of dollars as many Western politicians do, the foundation established a project known as Better Shelter. This project aims to create makeshift shelters for refugees and their families so that they can escape their homelands and move to other countries without having to worry about housing or other necessities. These shelters may not be the most element-resistant buildings in the world, but they will certainly keep you out of the rain, wind, and freezing winter conditions. The shelters are essentially glorified tents that have been reinforced with a combination of metal and PVC to develop what some are calling a micro home. These tiny shelters are equipped with solar panels for electricity, mosquito nets so that doors or windows can be left open to allow for ventilation, lights, and doors with locks on them so you can rest assured that your family and belongings will be safe while you are out finding food or searching for a job. These shelters have been provided to many refugees already, and IKEA and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees hope to continue their efforts in helping refugees establish better lives outside of the confines of their homeland.
IKEA Foundation has been partnering with UNHCR and Better Shelter since about 2010, and the main focus is creating a better everyday life for children. And in today's world, there are about 60 million forcibly displaced people, and more than half of them are children.
Number 2. The floating trash can that cleans oceans. We are all painfully aware of the issues that plague the world's oceans. Every day, hundreds of tons of debris, sewage, and other harmful materials or chemicals are being pumped into the ocean due to a lack of proper care from many of the world's major industries or communities. Thousands of gallons of oil threaten the wildlife in the ocean and can cause birth defects in humans that may not become apparent until several generations down the line. This pollution finds its way into our soil, food, and eventually into our bodies, and we are doing essentially nothing to stop it. That is, until now. A group of young men from Australia have developed a piece of technology that they hope will help to clean up the world's growing issue with pollution in the oceans. The device aims to save the lives of not only humans, but marine life as well. The product is known as Seabin, and it is an automated device that floats around in the oceans or rivers and collects trash, debris, and oil from the water. The device only needs to be regularly cleaned to maintain its operation, and it is far cheaper and more effective than many of the methods that are currently employed by the world's leaders. The idea behind this product is to eliminate the need for costly and ineffective trash boats that currently travel across the oceans, rivers, and lakes that cover the earth. These trash boats require lots of energy to power them, but they are only able to collect a reasonably small amount of trash before they are forced to return to the mainland to dump their collection. This takes an incredible amount of time and energy. The Seabin can make its way out to sea, collect trash and debris, and return to the mainland on its own. It can then dump its collection without human intervention, then return out to sea to continue cleaning up the oceans. This device is truly out of this world and may be able to improve the lives of thousands of people and save marine wildlife before it is too late. Very few of these bins have been implemented today, but Andrew and Pete, the creators of Seabin, are very hopeful that countries across the globe will invest in these devices to help keep our oceans safe and clean for many more years to come. Number 3. A soccer ball that creates electricity. In an ideal world, children everywhere would love outdoor activities. However, as society becomes increasingly dependent on technology, we have begun to spend less and less time outside. While it is usually fairly reasonable to let your children play on their iPads or game consoles after a hard day at school, it is important that they also get appropriate time outdoors and adequate exercise. Without this, kids can find themselves at an increased risk for several serious medical conditions such as obesity, diabetes, and even osteoporosis. However, a company known as Socket has developed a way for children all around the world to get exercise, yet also stay in tune with technology. Socket is a power-generating soccer ball that uses friction and physical contact as a means of generating power, which it then stores in an internal power bank. This energy can be used to power an included LED light fixture or other items that are compatible with the ball. This product was launched as a means for kids in developing countries to not only play ball, but also be able to help out their families by charging the ball and potentially allowing their loved ones light at the dinner table. For every ball that is sold in the US or other established countries, a ball will be donated to a child in need in the developing world. Implementing a device like this at your local park could pose tremendous benefits for the local community. This energy could be stored and used for powering larger light fixtures on the soccer field, powering water pumps for the local restrooms, charging visitors' cell phones, or so many other things. They could even be used in schools to teach children about the importance of conserving energy and all the various ways that energy can be created and stored. The possibilities are literally endless.
It doesn't deflate, it doesn't need to be inflated, it just is. Inside of the ball, at the core, there's a mechanism that actually harnesses kinetic energy. That's the energy of motion that actually is generated during play.
Number 4. The bus that runs on human waste. This invention may seem a bit gross, but it makes a lot of sense and is very helpful in reducing fuel costs and emissions in certain cities in the UK. The idea is known as BioBus and was developed by GenEco. It is more of a concept and a technology than it is a product or device, as the idea behind BioBus is that a city bus can be successfully powered by human waste. Yes, a bus is currently operating off of human poo. The technology is currently only being implemented in the select areas of the UK, but these buses could be used worldwide and dramatically reduce our emissions. They can save cities thousands of dollars on fuel costs and can even be used to reduce the amount of reliance that we have on sewage treatment plants. The idea behind this bus concept is that human waste is collected and filtered. It is then processed and turned into fuel that can be used to power a vehicle engine. If we were able to perfect this method of fuel, many cars on the road today could be powered by human waste with only minor modifications. This could completely solve the world oil crisis and potentially bring our vehicle carbon emissions to a complete halt. Number 5. Self-cleaning streets. South Korea has begun implementing a form of automated street cleaning by installing built-in sprinkler systems in certain city roads. If you ever travel early in the morning, it is not uncommon to see city workers or inmates cleaning roads and public streets so that trash does not accumulate on the roads and pose potential hazards for vehicles. This is a crucial aspect of city maintenance, but it often goes overlooked by most citizens. South Korea has eliminated the need for workers to perform these duties by installing specialized water systems that can put trash and debris away from the center of the road. It then collects on the sides of the road or in the ditch where it can be swept away or sucked up by a standard trash personnel. This not only helps out the city workers, but also reduces the risk of potential wrecks or injuries that may be caused by a city worker or inmate being struck by a car. Number 6. Intersections that generate power. In addition to roads being cleaned automatically, other developments in road technology have been made that involve collecting energy that is generated by cars passing by and using it to power stoplights and streetlights. The technology is still in development, but a group of researchers have developed specialized pads that can act as both solar panels and pressure panels to absorb the energy of cars that drive over them or sit at stoplights. This energy is then stored in an underground power bank and used to power all sorts of essential street signs or lights. Researchers expect this technology to be available to cities across the world in just the near future. Pretty darn cool. Which of these technologies are you most excited to see implemented in your hometown? Let us know in the comments and be sure to subscribe to see some more great videos like this one.